going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and we are here to discuss some gacha things. Now, I said I wanted to start doing more videos like this kind, and I've asked you guys for feedback, and I didn't really get any. But so I still wanted to do this video because it's something really important in a gacha game, and I really wanted to. Oh no, Mr. Smoke Detector, damn it! Smoke Detector Senpai says hi once again. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about is unit acquisition. And if you guys don't know what unit acquisition is, it's probably because you don't know what acquisition means. And if you don't, it's just how you get units, how you get units in a gacha game. Now, obviously, I'm just gonna use multiple gacha games that I'm currently playing, just to kind of like briefly talk about it and how important it is and how maybe we're overshooting stuff in these games. So let's go over to first Dislight, where we just had an amazing summon session, right? Now I'm gonna just briefly scroll through. Obviously, actually maybe I shouldn't. Now as far as rarity units, right? I think you're allowed to sort. I can. Oh baby, I can. Oh, kinda, sorta. Oh no, rarity. I can go by rarity. Yes. So in Dislight, I currently have, as far as the 5-star variety, which is the highest tier, and then technically there's higher tier, which I don't actually have. So there's going to be these 5 stars, and it's going to be, I have 1, 2, 10. I have 10 of the highest, second highest rarity. The highest rarity would be a light and dark or a shimmer 5-star, which I'll go look at over here in the Atlas. So I have 10 of them, which is pretty good. And if you guys play Dislight, how many do you have? I'm kind of curious. So I have 10, and you would think that that's, I think that that's pretty decent if we can compare it to how many I don't have, right? So I have 10 of them in comparison to how many I don't. What is this? 3, 6, 18, 21, 22. So that's not that bad, I feel like, especially with the way that the game's pity is, which is what we're here to discuss, right? We're here to talk about this game's pity and how it kind of works. And of course, there are 4 stars, the slightly lower rarity from the top dogs, and I think that's important how many of those you get as well. And then as you can see here, I already accumulated every single of the 3 stars in this game, which is, you can say it's good or bad. So let's go over to the summon session. I'm so used to saying that. That's my song, man. How do you summon in this game? How do you get units in this game? So this game has a 120, I think it is, until you get a guaranteed 5-star. So every time, if I don't get a 5-star, and once I hit that pity, I'm going to get a 5-star, right? That's how they work it in this game. Now, it is relatively to know if you're not completely familiar on how long that takes. It does take a long time to get 120 summons. Let's be clear. So this pity is hard to reach. More specifically, we have to also talk about the pity of this unit, which I don't know if I have it. Can they tell me it here? That'd be fantastic. Yeah, there it is. So when they do it, a new event, when a new character comes out, they do a pity. They just lowered it down to 450 spins in order to get the banner character. Again, if 120 is hard, you can only imagine how hard or difficult 450 is. So my thing that I want to talk about is how important this is, because when Dislight kind of started releasing their content, people were really skeptical about their pity system and how hard it is to acquire units. But is that necessarily a bad thing to acquire units or take them hard to get? Now, I'm going to say this right now. One thing that it does create people to have unique accounts. Even though I just showed you guys 10 5 stars, if you have Dislight, I guarantee if you have 10, you probably won't have the same exact 5 stars that I do. But what's really cool is that if you were to then look at like the last 2 characters that they just dropped in this game, I didn't get them because I couldn't hit pity, and I would love to have the characters, but I can't get them. But then there's other people that got them and then get to utilize them for what they're supposed to be utilized for. Most of the time, especially as gachas get older and older, and sometimes even the newer ones, they usually plug holes. That's usually what characters do in these games. So if characters are meant to plug holes, wouldn't it be important for you to get said characters? In my personal opinion, like there's always a roundabout way of doing anything in a gacha game, but usually like a character like Zora, she's perfect for some of the new content that just dropped, which is the Desolate Lands. We're gonna go into other games and we're gonna see what certain characters plug up certain stuff, even if it's something that you could probably do easily with other characters. Sometimes it's nice to have a character that does it all in one shot or can take 2 people's roles to do it. So I find it that when they had it in Dislight, that it's like, damn, it's really hard to get characters. A lot of people, I feel like, left the game. They definitely didn't like, because a lot of the other stuff, we just did a video on gear, a lot of that stuff becomes really grindy and annoying, and then sometimes that new character coming in really brings a breath of life to the person, especially if you like their design, you like maybe one of their skills, maybe all of a sudden this certain archetype, like now you have a counter-attacking tank or a attack scaling healer or something like that, and you really want that, and then sometimes you don't have the resources to get it. But then it comes to question, should you get everything that you want? Is there a viable cause to not have people get everything that they want? If you guys don't know, I've always had the same stance on this. I do think that you should always be able to get everything eventually. Eventually is up to the developer and each individual person, but I think that I should be able to get most characters in a gacha game because they are based inside of hero collecting, right? So of course, I'm talking about new units, but as I just saw this and I thought I'd mention this, they do have like dungeons where you can acquire some free-to-play characters, and I do think that that is also a nice thing to do, but not necessarily always have to be given away. I don't think that a gacha game always has to give away or have a bunch of functionalities to get a ton of free-to-play characters, as long as their resources are good enough to get the new ones. I love when they do that, when they have a free-to-play character and a way to utilize the resources, because they're all kind of run the same. There's a resources that you're getting over time for playing the game over time, and usually you want to spend it on you want to leverage that to get either new units or possibly advance in the game quicker, because sometimes eventually people have a bunch of new units and they don't need to keep going for the newer units. They just need to then progress their account. Like right now, I need to, after that summon session, I need to do a whole ton of leveling up fodder, raising up the star levels. I have to do all that stuff. So eventually I need to stop going for new characters, but what do you know? You guys know me, I can't really do that. So let me go into another game and kind of talk about that game, Counterside. I'm going to go into Counterside because my last summon session in Counterside wasn't that great. So let's go into that game. All right, so last time I was playing Counterside, I was trying to get this character right here. This is like kind of like, they release a lot of characters, and that's another thing that people I want to also bring in here is release schedule. Do you like when a game drops a bunch of characters at the same time? So right now, Yuna just came out. She has a different currency in order for you to summon for her, right? So that's a whole different story, right? And then they also have they also dropped these two characters over here. They also dropped a new operator over here. So there's a lot of summon possibilities in this game. So technically a lot of way for you to get shafted. But at the same time, they do have here the Planet Mall. So the more that I summon, I can pick out to get either a random SSR, which I don't think is the smartest thing in the world to do, but you can actually pick out the operators, right? So there is a way to free to play essentially, or you can still say it's buy to play, whatever, or buy to progress, whatever. You can still say that that's possible as well, because technically you can summon more with more money, right? You have more resources, you can do that. So I do like this because I haven't spent a dime in this game, but I still have about 2,000 this, 1,000 more of these. I'll be able to get one of these characters, so I don't necessarily need to summon for them. But these characters is two new characters, and they just had two or so characters from before. They've been kind of releasing things at a rapid pace, right? And I feel like also because this game is I think it's further ahead in a different region, so that's another thing. But this game, in order to get these characters, all I need to do is get 150 of this, and I know you guys thought I forgot to say something in this slide. I did not. I'm waiting to talk about that in a couple seconds here. So I didn't summon. Oh no, I summoned on this banner, and as you can see, it's back down to 0, right? So when you are summoning on these banners, right, specifically on this one, it does not reset. This pity does not reset until you get the character. I think that all gacha games should work like that. So no matter if I go employee thing, so no matter any of these characters that I get, right? These SSRs, this is SSR. The other ones are 5 stars. These are like the two most common in my personal opinion tiers that they use in these games. So if I get any of these other ones that happen to not be the one that I'm looking for, which is Sarapel, it will not reset the pity. Now, in Dislight, the game that we were just looking at, it actually does do that, and I think that that's not really that good. I think that whatever pity you have set should reset when it's supposed to reset. Any good luck that you have along the way should not hinder that, because then it makes it... Technically, I think if I were to combine all the summons that I've done in Dislight, I would have more than 10 5-star espers, right? And again, like I said, you guys have to remember, I'm in the everyone should have everything eventually kind of thing. So you are barring me from extra dupes. You are barring me from getting the character possibly by being able to kind of go into the actual pity versus also doing the other thing. Like, I don't want to talk too much about that because it really pisses me off. Anyway, I'm going through a lot of different points. I hope you guys can keep up, but I think each of these games have very unique ways of doing summons, and I definitely like this game's version of it as well. Now, these resources, you get a decent amount. I feel like I'm getting them at a decent, okay rate, but unfortunately, these right here are only, I think you get about 4 or 5 a day. As you can see, in order to do one pull, you need 20. As you can see, I definitely did a couple pulls here. I'm up to 38. If I do 200 of this currency, I could do that. And I can also get these every 3 days. I can buy a pack utilizing my premium crystals. So I still like the system. Even when I'm pulling for her, I can get other SSRs. And again, it will not reset this petty. I guess I might be petty. It will not reset this pity. And I really like that. I really, really like that. But I have to go into the game who is currently doing a fantabulous event, and it really shows, even though I think it's a little, I'm being a little bit biased here, because the game that I want to show is in a collab, right? And we've also spoke about this from Artery Gear, is in a collab, so they're doing things a little bit differently because you have to do more for a collab. I don't want to include that too much into this type of video, because I do feel like collabs, you're supposed to go above and beyond, but I think that gacha games were so used to the bare minimum, which is the 2 games I just showed you, doing the bare minimum for summoning, especially. Yes, in this, like, there is a whole event put into Zora's release and everything else. There's a whole event, there's a whole thing going on. This unit Springfield, there's an event that is going on as well alongside of it, right? So both games are having an event put alongside of it to kind of help you along and give you some extra resources. However, so Artery Gear has a collab that's going on right now, and it showcases a really good combination of everything that we've been talking about, right? Now, what's unique about this game is that when you do a 10 pull, which I don't understand why most games don't have this, I don't even think Epic 7 has this. I don't have Epic 7 loaded on my computer. I play it on my phone mostly. But I don't even think Epic 7 has, if you do a 10 pull, you're guaranteed to get a 4-star unit. But this game actually does have that. And I love that so much that whenever you're doing a 10 pull, you are guaranteed, does it say here somewhere? I think it does. I don't remember. You could read. But when you do a 10 pull, you're guaranteed to at least get a 4-star character. And that also is going to assist with the ability to get units. It helps your unit acquisition. It helps you get dupes. How important are dupes in each game that you're playing? Because I'm showcasing 3 games because those are the ones that I'm regularly playing at the moment. But I'm just speaking in general. Like, how important is it that some people don't like dupe system, which I would tackle in a different video. As far as like how important is it that you get dupes? Do you need to be able to? Should dupes be super important? This game has a fun. Artery Gear. The reason why I still play it is because every time I want to talk about an essence or a issue of gachadom, is that this game kind of just breaks the mold of it, and it's hard to ignore that it does. To be completely honest. So let's look at this collab event, and even though I can't give it too much credit, these are how their normal banners are. The normal banners are pretty, basic, right? You recruit for 10 with this much, you recruit for 1 if you have this currency. But if they were to do this, and this light also has a little event going on when you summon. I didn't mention it because I wanted to mention it here because, again, most of the time it's embarrassing. It's not really anything special. But this one, not only are they giving you the ability to skill up the character, to get like armaments, which are like other cool things attached to the character, they're attaching a lot to the unit. Now, this is not just about talking about unit acquisition, but also making the units really feel involved. And that's where I have to give this light the big ups on that as well, because when they drop certain characters, even when they dropped Ahmed, which wasn't a huge thing, right? They still gave it, a little trailer. I keep hearing noises, I'm sorry. They still gave it a little trailer. They still gave it some spice. Oh, that's why I can hear outside. I have my door open. My back door is open. I was like, wait, why can I hear outside so well? So what I wanted to say is that, like, I love when the game does this. Now, obviously, this is a collab, and most of the time, not all of the time, the gachas will make a collab really good. They did an outstanding job with the collab on this. Let me just close that just in case you guys can hear it. I'm sure you can't, but sorry. That was bothering me. All right, so I love this. So not only do they have the pity for the character, right, after nine consecutive 10 pulls, right, and they also lock it to 10 pulls, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Do you guys mind when they do that? Now, I think it's fine to lock people into 10 pulls as long as you're getting a good reason for doing it. A lot of games recently that I've been playing after switching around so much, they kind of dropped the thing into 10 pulls. Even Epic 7, the big juggernaut of greatness right now, in my personal opinion, it has a lot of longevity. You can't front on that. They don't really have a reason to do 10 pulls. It's better to do singles because there's no really great thing for doing a pull. I think that doing singles is just kind of crappy, and I like that they gave. I didn't mean to circle here. I just was. Shut up. Anyway, I do like when they give you a reason to do to save up for 10. They give you a reason, an incentive to do that, and I love that. Absolutely love that. They give, and again, back to here, like I think that every time a banner comes out, there should be a lot to the banner. There should be a reason to summon, but then again, that also ties to there should be a reason to get the character. So there goes my last point, is how important is it that the characters are strong? This character here is a very, very strong character based on what I feel like assuming that they are. But is it okay for games to drop crappy characters? Maybe I could do a full-on video about that. I don't know, but I think it's bad. I don't like when a game drops crappy characters. I don't like it. I think the characters should be strong. Call it power creep, call it whatever you want. Every time a new character comes out, they need to be solving a problem. They need to be canceling out something else. They need to have a reason to exist, in my personal opinion. I don't think that I like a character that does nothing. And I guess, hey, everyone will be like, easy skip. But it's like, then they'll buff that character. We know everything about gachas is that a character that's crappy one day might get buffed later. And then it'll be harder for you to acquire that character because you didn't summon it when it was on the banner and doing all this fancy stuff. And then of course they have collab units which never come back until a year comes by, and all of a sudden they're back again. Which is, I love that bait and switch. Limited, yeah, this is limited collaboration. Wait a year. A year this time, this collaboration will probably come back, or they'll do another one. But eventually this will come back. But they always make it, they try to mess with you FOMO and fear of missing out if you don't know, and get you to spend money or something like that. Also, what I love about this is that I have to bring it up. You got to bring it up. Is that for this event, I guess we could talk slightly about monetization. Just a slight thing about monetization is that you could do a 10 pull for $5. Where do you guys, I know this is going to be, how much money should a 10 pull be? How much? What are you willing to spend? I love that for this collaboration event, it's $5, right? And this is the package thing, but I think if I not recharge, let me find their basic pack. It might just be purchase pack, honestly. There we go. I was trying to look at the thing. So like, as you can see here, $1 only gives you 3. $2 gets you 2. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I already know I know the trick already. You make them buy both, right? Or maybe those are two different packs or whatever. So $10 only gives you 5, right? So if you eventually go into the $20, and then you'll be able to get a full pull, right? That's kind of standard right now. So it's kind of standard, I think, even if I go across all games, and I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to go switch over to counter side, and I'm going to go into Dislight and see what the average price to get a 10 pull is. How do I even get to the cash shop in this game? They do it differently in this game. I think you buy the green medals, and the green medals allow you to do that. So I mean, they probably have it's too much. I hate it's actually, by the way, it is a technique to do that. You buy one thing that buys another thing that also buys another thing, and that way you have no idea how much you spent. Please watch your money. It's how they get you. That's technically a 10 pull. That's about $23. You get more than a 10 pull, to be honest. But this is like a one-time thing, right? I'm looking for what it would cost on not like a regular basis, pretty much. I'm editing that out, but Jesus Christ, my mouse double clicks. It almost made me purchase something. Oh my God, it's so scary. I think it costs, if I'm doing this correctly, I think you have to get the $25 this pack right here. The one that gives you 3,200 of these. See, look at that. You see the double click? It's insane. I think you'd have to buy that much. Purchase one. I could be wrong. It looks about $25. If you want to get this, this is a one pull for that's just for the Awaken unit, right? That we looked at. If you wanted to do that, so that's about that $25 pack. See here, look at this cutoff. This cutoff is schnashty. 1500 jump straight over to 4500. As you can see, 4500, you can't even get that with the other pack that we just saw. You'd have to go from the one upwards. That this is a very nasty jump. It's actually very predatory. I don't want to talk about too much about monetization. That's not necessarily why I'm here, but I am curious if you guys think that how much it, because unit acquisition for money is, I think, is also something that we have to talk about, even though, briefly speaking about it, but monetization does incorporate that. Like if a unit to even do a 10 pull, and you had to do a few 10 pulls, so it's like $5 and then it adds up to maybe $20. I think $20 for a unit, that means you can literally summon enough to get the character, I think would be fine. I think it's weird that $20 is just to do one instance of a pity. You know, like your one instance, as in like 110 pull of it, is a little bit steep. And I think that if we all band together to not have this happen, then it would change. But we don't, because everyone, there's a lot of people that just allow, we gotta let the whales are fine, but whales will buy anything. So it's not for the whales that these prices are. It's for us. It's for people like me and you that don't want to spend money, that would spend $5 to $10. That's what it's there for us. And there's a lot of things that are in there for it to be, so we see it and then we want it. It's very purposeful. But they know that the whale is gonna buy everything, so it has nothing to do with the whales. It has to do with what are you willing to spend and how much are you willing to spend it. Unless you don't understand that concept and you're All right, let me go look at Dislight. All right, let's check out Dislight. Oh my God, why does it look like that? Oh, I'm in the wrong screen. Now that's better. All right, so I think we go into the plaza here, right? $20. 7.
Oh hell no!
And then it goes from 20 to 50. Like and 50 doesn't even give you.
Never too much, never too much, never.
I don't even want to talk. Let's just sweep that right under the rug. I mean, they probably have one that's actually, come on, you guys, for the love of God, they better have one available in 2 days. What's going on? What's going on? It's so weird. All right, well. What about the record bundle? Here we go. So it's like in there one of their packs. It's $20 for it, I guess. But standardly, you're might be a little weird outside of this little special pack that they have, But it's still about what I said. It's about $20. And games usually fluctuate from 20, 25, 22. To be honest with you, that's usually what it is. I still think that if I wanted to, like I said, this banner just came out. I think anytime a banner comes out, I should be able to spend $20 and get the character. 100%. I don't give a flying fuck. I kind of care what you think about it, kind of. But if you disagree, I think that there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Maybe we need to have a discussion. But I think to get new units, a new banner that comes into the game, Counter-Strike would be weird because they just drop like 4 characters, so that would be like $80 to get it. So Counter-Strike would be a little bit hard for me to judge because they drop so many different characters. But I would say maybe 20 to get the highest rated character, which would be the Yuna Springfield in that case, and the other ones would be nice to haves, but they're big units are their awaken units. So I think that character should be about $20. Especially when I look into other games outside of Gachadom, I think that if they release like a fighting game would release a character, you're gonna spend you might spend $20, $30 on a pass, to get all the characters that are in the line. So that maybe that would be my thing for Counter-Strike, but maybe that it's a pass, and then if you play throughout the pass, similar to a season pass, and then you get all the characters at the end of it if you do everything, make it a little bit torturous. But I think that's the thing, is that all that is incomparable. I know it's a big video, but unit acquisition is the biggest and most important thing about Gacha. How do you get the units? How do you get your units? How do you want to get them? If you're spending money, if you're not, how is it free to play? Like, I need to know. I gave you guys my ideas, my suggestions, and I hope to see yours in the comment section below. And until next time, and of course, before I go, if there's any other thing inside of Gachadom that you guys want me to discuss, please leave it in the comment section below. I also there's a really good video, and I'll spoil you. It's on one of FG's 3000 videos. There's a video that he did, and he said a couple of things, and I want to touch on it. So it would be my first time doing a reaction style video, and that should be pretty interesting. Hope you guys are looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace.